Hi, thanks for joining us again for another video of our Acquire.Fi video series. Today we have Marina back with us, who's the Chief Legal Officer for Acquire.Fi. She has over 14 years of experience across multiple jurisdictions and 7 years of work experience with fintech and blockchain companies. Let's dive in and learn a little bit more about Acquire.Fi and some of the legal and regulatory things that are coming. Hi, Marina. Thanks for joining us again today.
Hi, JC. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I know we had a lot of fun with that group one, but I'm glad to get some alone time with you on here so that we can dive in and just get a little bit more detailed information where we can from you. And so Acquire.Fi, we know, is giving investors access to some unique wealth building opportunities, being the first M&A marketplace for Web3 innovation. Tell us how you feel like things are coming along as we lead up to the launch here.
Yeah, we're very excited where we'll have our beta launching on the 28th of September. It's going to be the closed beta only for our community members, but we're all excited about it and waiting for the feedback from our community. Not all parts of the product will be launched. It will be limited.
It'll be just the MVP, right?
Yep,
just get us something out there to let us all get a better understanding of what is coming, what is possible with this, to start building up even more excitement for the more public launch, right?
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and talk about one of those things that will be coming out with that MVP, and that's the Acquire.Fi investment pools. Investors of all levels, big and small. This is honestly one of the things I'm most excited about with the Acquire.Fi platform personally as well. And so let's talk about how they'll work from your perspective on legal and regulatory and some of the things that you're working towards with those right now.
Absolutely. It is also a very exciting product because our investment pools is a security which is giving the right to the NFT holders, which is on board totally as investors to our pools, have the right to receive the dividends and the profit share on the main underlying asset in the pool. So it is an exciting part, and it's very protected for the investors. So our investors understand their total rights as the shareholders of the pool, and they are managing their own funds.
Very awesome. And like I said, there are so many possibilities with this, right? I mean, from holding luxury items to holding shares in a company to holding real estate items, there's so many different options that can come out of these pools. And so to that end, fractionalized ownership of real world assets really is part of the future and the way things are moving. So how will that benefit Acquire.Fi investors to be part of these fractionalized ownership pools?
It is definitely will benefit them for the spreading investment portfolio and liquidity, but they also have to keep in mind that they are actually trading the securities and have to be compliant with the security regulation. That's why our pools will be geographically connected and plus connected to the security regulation of each single country where this pool would be created. For each pool, we will publish the information separately, who can participate in the pool, what is the amount of the ticket, size of the ticket, which can be purchased in the pool, what is the underlying asset, and what is the exit strategy for the investors. And then the investors has to take a decision, and also their qualified legal advice and financial advice to invest in these pools.
Right. And listen, and here's the thing. Some of that stuff sounds like, well, golly, there's going to be a lot of hurdles to jump through with this. But what people need to fully understand and realize is that this is not just some degen DeFi protocol that's coming together here. This is literally bridging the gap for real world traditional style investing within the blockchain and crypto space. And so following all of these regulations, making sure that only accredited investors are able to invest in areas where that's a requirement, and being limited geographically, that's actually part of the draw of this, is that you know that you are getting into a real world investment, not just some degen DeFi play. And that's not what this is about at all, right?
Absolutely. And we're also planning to launch the crowdfunding platform in Acquire.Fi, which will be announced later.
Yeah, and that'll be good too. So, as far as geographic things, I know that starting out it's going to be a little bit limited. So, let's talk about what countries will be available right off the bat with the MVP, and then maybe some plans for adding more in the future.
Yeah, we will start with the European Union and European Economic Area, and then we will announce what countries will be next and what asset will be in the pools.
Okay, so we're going to start off with just the European Union. And so that means that for this very first pool that's going to be coming out, you'll have to be in the European Union to be an investor in that pool,
You have to
correct?
be the resident of European Union, yes.
Okay. And so that's great. And then in the future, there'll also be some crowdfunding options that might be slightly different to where maybe from different areas you could
It
still
will be
invest in.
absolutely different because crowdfunding regulation is different from the investment fund regulation, yes.
Right. And we'll get into more of that in a future video when that gets closer to being, but that's when things will open up a little bit more as well when we get into some of the crowdfunding licensing and all of that. Just because, like you said, it's a very different regulatory world. And it's important to have these proper regulations in place because these are actual securities people are investing in. Again, this is just providing safety and security to those investments by following the regulatory structures for the country in which the investments are in.
Absolutely. So there is no anything, there is no anonymous transactions or anonymous identity. It's a very, very regulatory field.
Right, it is. And that's great. Like I said, that's what we need more of in the crypto space in places is a way to bridge our finances that we make maybe through a DGen DeFi protocol that we want to put into some real world investments to diversify. It's just good, proper diversification with actually marketed securities. So it's really exciting for that.
You are absolutely correct, JC. This is what AcquireFi is building. So it is a absolutely regulated and a regulatory field for the investors to be protected and at the same time using Web3 technology.
Right. It's incredible. So exciting. So let's talk a little bit more about the marketplace for just a second. The marketplace is where people are going to be able to come in and buy and sell crypto-based businesses and intellectual property for blockchain. Talk a little bit about the due diligence process and how that works from the regulatory and legal side of things.
The due diligence process will be on a buyer side mostly. AcquireFi will not give any guarantees itself as a platform, but we also would be able to connect with the service providers who can do the proper due diligence on a necessary projects.
Awesome. And then I know Ken Mack's going to be doing a lot of sort of some of the pre-due diligence. And so there will be some due diligence being done beforehand. And then it's going to be at the buyer's discretion to do the final due diligence, sort of like we talked about with the investment pools, right? There'll be some due diligence. There'll be lots of information to put out there for people to research. But ultimately, at the end, the decision to invest lies with the buyer or with the person that is purchasing into the investment pools.
After all, this is a decision of investors. Yes.
That's it. And that's the key. And you guys are giving them the platform that allows them to make that decision and giving them as much information as possible to help them make that decision as well along the way.
Yes, we are the tool.
That's it. It's so great. Well, Marina, listen, I appreciate you taking time to come on with us today and dive into some of this a little bit more. We've kept this one very short, but at the same time, I think we got a lot of really important information that people need to hear about just what these are going to be and how they're going to be structured. It's important information to know. So thank you so much for coming on with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And for everybody watching, make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Next week, we've got Ken Mack coming on, and hopefully we're going to be talking more about the actual first pool that's going to be available to those in the European Union. And then also follow the Telegram communities, join the communities. The entire staff and team of AcquireFi is very active on their Telegram communities. So if you've got any questions about anything you hear on any of our videos, jump into the Telegram and just ask a question, and they're happy to help you in there. And again, thanks for watching and sticking with us, and we'll see you guys next week.